Today we're going to learn how to use Inventor and Cura to make a keychain on the 3D printer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my file, open up Inventor, see the big orange eye. You're going to look for that, go click File, New, double click on standard.ipt, and that will be your drawing program to get you started. Then you're going to click Start a Sketch, and you're going to click on the XY plane. Then you're going to make your keychain whatever size you want. You can make a round one, you can make a square one, doesn't really matter to me. I'm going to left click here to make a box, and you can see down the little blue box down there that's changing the numbers. It's 1.122 right now. So what I'm going to do is make it 1.5, an inch and a half, and then I'm going to tab over, and you can see that in the lower right hand corner of your screen that it says 0.5 now. So I'm going to do click 1 inch, hit enter, and that is going to be, double click the mouse wheel to bring it into focus for you, and that's going to be my keychain. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some fillets on it. So I'm left clicking, my fillet is set at 0.125 right now. So I'm going to left click on both lines, and that fillets and makes the edges round for you. So I'm going to do that again over here, and I'm going to do that on all 4 corners. So that's what I want my keychain to look like. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little circle right here in the corner. Let's go 0.125, and that will give me an 1/8 of an inch circle. So what we're going to do is we're not going to extrude that out, so it's going to have a hole all the way through it. And then I can put my keychain ring in there. So I'm going to go ahead and click Finish Sketch, and I'm going to extrude, and you're going to extrude everything but the circle that I want to leave out. So it's going to create that void there for you. When you go to extrude, the default is 1 inch, so I'm going to put that kind of whatever you want it to be. I'm going to do 0.25. I'm going to hit enter. 2.5 might be a little bit too thick. Let's do double click twice, click on extrusion. I think 0.25 is a little thick. I'm going to go type in 0.125, and that'll be an 1/8 of an inch. You can see that makes it nice and thin for me. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a sketch, and this is where you can write on it whatever you want. I'm going to take the mouse wheel and hold the mouse wheel down and move my whole mouse to the left, so it brings it into the screen. Click on the text tool. Decide where you want your text to be. I'm going to put my text box right there, and I'm going to type in Mrs. Weingar. You can type in whatever you want. I'm just choosing that. So there it is. I'm going to finish the sketch. You're probably going to want to move that down. That looks a little bit like it's too high. So what I want to do is I want to use my emboss feature. So I'm going to click on that. It's asking for the profile, so I'm clicking the sketch. And then it's asking how tall do you want to make it. So it's kind of, I'm going to click on my name. It's at 0.1. If I click 0.1 right now and hit OK, you can see that when you rotate, I'm going to take my rotate tool, left click and drag it. You can see that 0.1 is almost as thick as the 0.125. So that's probably not going to be what I want my keychain to be. So let's right click and hit OK. Then I'm going to click Emboss and right click and say Edit Feature. So let's put it at 0.05 and see if we like that. Too many points. 0.05 and hit enter. It's going to re-render that for me, and yeah, that's probably okay. You can go a little bit thinner if you want. Another cool thing too, if you don't want it to extrude, emboss extrude, you can have it subtract. And so that's clicking this button and hit OK, and it will make divots inside of it, and it'll kind of be cut out. If you want to go all the way through, it's not all the way through. If you want to go all the way through, you would have to change that to 0.125. I'm going to go ahead and change it back because I want it to stick up. Sometimes I think that if you have it subtract material, you might get some lines in it from the plastic, and it might not turn out as well as you'd like. So I'm going to leave it like that. So this is going to be my keychain. You know what? I'm going to go back and fillet all these corners, and the radius is 0.125. That's too big. So let's go just to give me a little bit of a round on there so it's not sharp corners. 0.0 1. Let's try that and see if that'll let us. Yep, it did. So you look at it, it's just a little bit of a rounded. You could go a little bit bigger if you wanted. Let's do the same thing on the back. Click on my fillet tool, and you're at 0.01, and hit OK. And so now it just gives it a little bit softer. If you wanted to fillet the circle too, you can do that. Hit apply, and let's do that one as well. Right click and say OK, fillet that, hit OK, and it just softens it up a little bit. Okay, so we're done with that. So now what do? We're getting ready to print it. So we need to go File, Export, Export, CAD format. Go ahead and save it. Again, I would not save it on the desktop. I would make sure you save it in your folder, because when you come back after you log out, the part's going to be gone. The desktops are all wiped every time you log out, so you're not going to be able to save something from one day to the next. So please make sure and go down here, go to your drive and save it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in something I can remember what it is. Keychain. Just going to type in keychain, doesn't really matter. And this is where you need to change it. So right now it's saving as a DWG. It's a drawing file. That's not what we want. We need to save it as an STL. So go ahead, hit save. And so now that's a format that Cura, the printer, can understand. So now what I'm going to do, now what you're going to have to do is probably, because we don't have Cura on every machine, you're probably going to go to, there should be at least 3 computers in the room that is set up to run Cura. So you need to save your files, email them to yourself, use a jump drive, however you want to move your files, it's up to you. And you're going to go to the computer that has Cura. So we're going to open up Cura here, and that's what it looks like. So you're going to go File. I'm going to find the file I just saved, my keychain. Load model. So it's going to ask you now to find it. Seems a little slow today. So it's not in my downloads folder. I saved it to my desktop. If you remember, I named it keychain. And it saved keychain as a DWG or an STL. You need the STL file. Okay, so if you look at that, that's really, really small. So what you're going to have to do is go to scale and move the decimal point over. So it's at 38.1. And there's a little bit bigger. So if you look up here, it's going to take 11 minutes. It's going to take 0.19 meters, and it's going to be a gram. So that's kind of how we figure out how to charge you if you just want to print something. So you're done with that. You're going to go save toolpath. I'm going to save toolpath and see it says G code, and I'm going to hit save. This is where you're going to want to get a card reader, and the card from either 3D printer or an extra SD card, and you are going to save it to that. And then I will show you in the next step, we'll show you how to print it.